went downtown a couple days ago, and going downtown is like a culture shock because me living out in a rural area, I'm not, I get online, I see this stuff on the news and all that, but I actually go there, and it's crazy that it's acceptable, some of the shit that goes on down there. But it was interesting going downtown. You ride the light rail, and you think about all of that. One, you can't take anything with you. As preppers, we love to have all that stuff, right? The personal defense stuff and all that, and everyday carry and all that. One, you can't take anything with you. You're riding on a light rail, all sorts of crazy people. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but I will say I worked in the hood for about 10 years. So it's not like I'm just out here, I've lived in the boonies forever, and I've just never been into a city. I worked there for a long time, and it was actually kind of cool, the area that I worked in. But you go into downtown, you go to those big cities, and it's crazy, and your situational awareness is like high alert, so you're paying attention to everything. It makes me nervous. I don't like people in the first place, groups of people, and it just makes me nervous going into downtown. But this shit is acceptable. You think about Chicago, you think about LA and New York and all that. People just accept it, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Anyway, that was my rant on.
There's a lot of that's you blowing off steam after your traumatic trip to see Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, just society. We're doomed. I mean, you go into the inner city, and your odds of something happening just go up like tenfold. Maybe
that's because again, we talk about it all the time, right? People are your number one problem, right? They're your number one threat. Now, if you're out in the rural area, you're up in, Montana or something like that. Maybe if you're staying out in the rural, you might have to deal with a grizzly bear or something. I don't know, up in Alaska or something. You live on Kodiak or something like that. But by and large, our biggest unknown every time you come into encounter with somebody is a two-legged person, a person coming at you. Like, what are they going to do? Are they crazy? Are they rational? And right now, the problem is there's so many people that are struggling more, so they're more inclined to do crime. There's so many more people that are pissed off running around, so they're more inclined to get upset about something. Think about going to the store, and it's like people watching people, and I've seen people putting food back, like literally sitting. This one I was in Vegas. They're sitting at the self checkout, and they're putting one thing, and they look how much might one of these days they're gonna go up there and not gonna be able to get anything maybe. And what's that person going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, across the board, everything it's just I'm just old enough to remember some of the crappy moods out of the 70s. And it feels a lot like that, if not more. I think because we had it good, a lot really good in the 90s and 2000s. And I think you have a lot of people that aren't going to do so well when they don't have it quite as good anymore.
Yeah. Stacking 9mm in the chat said, not people, zombies. That's true too. Yeah. And homeless people, most of them are harmless, but they're that wild card. You don't know what you're going to get with them. I mean, some of them could be off their rocker. Some of them could be on drugs. Some of them could be, they just want money to go buy a bottle of booze or something, but you just never know what you're going to get. And when you think about that from a prepper perspective, you get into some sort of SHTF situation where people are more desperate. Maybe it's not a crazy thing, or maybe it is. Maybe they lost their husband or wife or their kids, and they just lost it. It's just people make me nervous as hell. It brings my anxiety level way up just to even get on the light rail and go downtown.
I mean, there's something to be said when you say, homeless people make you nervous. Well, homeless people that don't have a lot, they're living under bridges or living in tents and they're struggling, they're in an SHTF event. So their tolerance for BS and their probably their drive to protect themselves more, like they have to be on the spot all the time. Cause like you said, there are people wandering around in the homeless community who, because of the way we deal with mental illness, are straight up crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And they have no options. So they're out on the streets. And so you're the not crazy homeless person. You're always on the lookout for somebody to, and how many people, again, when they're desperate and they haven't eaten in a couple of days or they want something or whatever, they're willing to take it from you. So that's the world that people are living in, that regardless of whether they're crazy or not. So I think you're right to be like, wow, this person operates in a different, universe. When I was rotating in and out of Iraq and all my buddies were rotating in and out of Iraq on the regular, like we were operating in a different universe when you would come home. It's just your understanding and the way you interact with the world is totally different. So I think you're totally right to say that and to feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And some homeless people, I mean, they're functional to the point where if you went up and had a conversation with them, you'd probably think, hey, this guy's, why the hell is he homeless? But put them in a job for a week, and then everything starts to come out, and you can tell why they're not able to function in society, and they get cast off.
Well, I think more and more you have. I think more and more you have, like out in Los Angeles when I was out there. I think you have more and more people that have a job that are homeless. Like in Southern California, you have people that they have a job, but the rent's gone so high they can't afford their rent. Taxes they raised when I was out there before I came back east. They raised the gas tax out there 5% or 5 cents a gallon. In the middle of all this nonsense, boom, let's say, when they talk about how high it is in California, remember California has the highest taxes too, but they raised that. So I think you have people out there that, and I saw some media shows with them where people were like, I don't know anybody anywhere else to go in the United States. This is all I know. This is where like everybody I know is here. And they're like, but I can't afford to rent a place anymore. So they're moving into their cars. They're moving into RVs that they move around the town and they go to work. They just can't afford a place. So they've kind of checked out of the whole thing. That's why they call it, don't call homeless people in at least Southern California homeless. They are unhoused neighbors.
Okay. If that makes you feel better from your gated community, then you can, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some of them that choose to just check out of society. They choose to live down there. So it's just that wild card. It's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get with them, and that makes me nervous. Then you got the criminals, which, I mean, a little bit of situational awareness, you can kind of handle that a little bit better than somebody that's walking up to you and you'd have no idea what you're going to get. So,
look at that when you went in. Look when you went in there and imagine. Think about it from the aspect if all of a sudden food basically shut down.
Yeah, and it would be like that.
If the things get really bad, what would that be like in that urban center?
Yeah, your typical soccer mom trying to get these days baby formula. You get preachers and policemen, these people that you trust and know, and people that wouldn't normally go out of their way to do shit like that. When it all comes down to it, and that's what they say in this article too, is talking about, and we talk about as preppers all the time, when it comes down to feeding your family, taking care of your family, your morals are going to, drop. And I think that's, as preppers, what we try to do is prepare to get that stuff, to have that stuff to where when something like that does happen, we don't have to worry about if our morals are going to get put aside to feed our family and do stuff like that.
Yeah, no blowjobs for a bag of rice.
Yeah, that's basically it. No, I'd take one to the head before I do anything like that. The other head.
I'm not even going to touch that one.
Yeah, I know.
But anyhow, I think it's the thing that I keep registering on now is I see people that are obviously are pro administration though, more and more talking about like, hey, we're going to have huge problems coming down the road. And then you see the people on the other side, hey, we're having huge problems coming down the road. And so it's not just a side with an axe to grind. It's not just a bunch of crazy preppers saying, oh, the end's coming. Here it comes. This is coming. I think more and more you look at it and it's lining up that way.
Hey, everyone. Thanks again for watching.
Absolutely. Just as a reminder, you can help us defeat the censors by liking, subscribing, and sharing this or any of our videos. Don't forget to click the link below and visit the website. Over there, you can listen to any of the older podcast episodes and also get on the email list.
And best of all, you can help us give the finger to both the apocalypse and the censors alike.